Hey, what's going on everybody? Alex here with Freedom Mowers. I hope you all are doing well. Picked up a couple pieces of handheld equipment the other day. One is a articulating hedge trimmer, the other one is a string trimmer, and both of which I believe have carburetor issues. I'm gonna show you guys what we're working with, what's going on with it, and hopefully we can get this thing fixed today, so let's check it out. This is what we've got. We have a Stihl FS55R. This is a homeowner type string trimmer. This is not necessarily a professional, but these are great units. I've used them in the past. They have plenty of power and they are pretty lightweight, which makes them nice to maneuver and do some trimming. Now, I did get this. It did start, but as soon as you give it some gas, it basically bogs out and then cuts off. I'm gonna get you guys on the tripod, show you what it's doing, and then we're probably just gonna go ahead and get right into this carburetor. It does have a full tank of true fuel. The gentleman that I got this from actually put a full tank in it and was showing me what was going on with it. So we should be all set with the fuel. I think we just have some carb problems. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, show you guys the filter on here. It is not, it's not terribly dirty. I can't remember how to even get these open. There wasn't a lot of stuff on it. It wasn't saturated or anything like that in fuel. The primer bulb is not broken, so show you guys. It does take a few pumps to get some fuel up in there. We'll put it on choke, on position, kicked over on choke, choke off. It didn't cut off on me this time. The last time I ran it, it wouldn't even hardly take any gas. Obviously, you're supposed to let this warm up. Normally, they will have a little bog, you know, the first 15 to 20 seconds till the engine starts to warm up, but this one doesn't get any better as it runs. So let me get you guys all set up here. I'm gonna get some tools out and we're gonna get this carb off. All right, and I believe it's an 8mm to take the two nuts off on these. Just take the cover off and the filter. That's always kind of hard to get down in here. All right, those two are off. Housing comes right off. Now we will just have our fuel lines. Let me grab something to pop those off. This green one is our upper line. Open the cap a little bit, take the pressure off. That one's our lower line. And then we should be able to, if I can show y'all, we just gotta move the throttle arm here a little bit. See if I can do it, and then slip the throttle out just like that. And oh, we're just hung up. That is it. Our gasket's still on the back side, but that's pretty much about it. This is a Stihl brand. This is the OEM carb. It's a Zama. So let me get the trimmer off from here. I'll get us some rags set up and we're gonna break into this carburetor. We're gonna first just start out by opening up the bottom side here. This one should just hold the area where our fuel filter is, or the fuel screen. And now our screen looks totally clean in here. So we'll see. This little check valve looks good on here. I'm curious if our diaphragm just got kind of crispy on here and maybe isn't pumping fuel like it's supposed to. I just got to take these 4 screws out. So we'll get that off. Thing looks clean there. Can't tell yet about our diaphragm if it's stiff or not until we peel it up. And I do have some more diaphragm, so I'm probably just going to replace it regardless, and we're going to clean this out. But overall, this carburetor looks extremely clean. It's not super stiff where it wouldn't pump, but let's see. I'll take it off from the gasket here. If it will come off. Let's see. This one really doesn't feel bad at all. I mean, it's not brand new, but it's not, shouldn't have not been pumping fuel or choking it out like that. So just curious if we have something else going on, if maybe there was an issue with the fuel filter or something like that. Can take this small little jet out, take a look here. Yeah, I can see right through the jet. That's nice and clean. Another possibility that we have too is a spark arrestor that could be clogged up. I wasn't really sure the condition of this carburetor, so I wanted to get into it anyways, but we're gonna see if we've got something else going on. I am gonna go ahead and run some carburetor spray through the screen here and just these ports, just to go ahead and make sure everything's nice and clean. And I will go ahead and grab a new diaphragm to put on here and see if I've got another bulb. But we'll go ahead, I'm gonna put this back together and let's take a look at the machine and see what else we've got going on. All right, and I did just spray out the ports on here like I was talking about, and I did have another primer bulb. So everything looks good inside the carburetor. Seems to be purging like it's supposed to. You could hear that whistling. Now, we do have the spark arrestor inside of the muffler right there I want to take a look at, and that should be a 15. So let me get y'all set up on the tripod and we'll see if we can crack that loose. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. It's a 15 for these spark arrestors. And these can cause, if they're clogged up, they can cause it to bog because basically your exhaust is not flowing outwards. But this one right here, I'm trying to make sure y'all can see, is not clogged up. I can see right through it. It definitely has some carbon deposits on it, but nothing that would cause us to have issues like we are having. So I think what we'll go ahead and do is I'll get my air compressor. I'm gonna blow off right around the little rubber seal here that has our supply and return line to the carburetor, and we'll go ahead and pull that out, take a look at it, make sure our fuel filter looks okay, and we'll go from there. All right, I was just trying to get as much dirt as I could away because I don't want anything falling in the tank. So I am gonna gently go up underneath of this lip here. Try to pull on it a little bit at the same time. But I've got this screwdriver. Just wanted to get up underneath the lip. Once we get it started, it should pull right out. Fuel filter looks perfect on here. Everything looks good. I'm wondering, I'm looking at this fuel in here. And it almost looks like there's water in there to me, so I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe we should pour this fuel out. I just went off from what the guy said, and I could see that there was fresh fuel in there, but that is one of the biggest mistakes, and I tell people all the time just to check the fuel, but this one could be on me. Happens to everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and try to work this back in. It's usually easier if you start from the inside and then work back out. All right, I think I got it in. Gotta roll this edge back out. There we go. I think we got ours sealed back up. And that looks good there, so let's go ahead and take a fuel sample. All right, I've got this Pyrex glass container here. Just cleaned it out, so that way we'll know if we've got anything going on. Pull the gas cap out. Let's see what we got going on here. It could have just been the angle that I was looking at, but I'm gonna give it a minute to just see if we have anything settled to the bottom. All right, I've been waiting for about a minute. There was definitely a little bit of sediment in there, but no water at all. So everything is settled to the bottom. So I'm just gonna pour the little bit off the top back into the gas tank and make sure we don't get any debris in there. I'm just gonna get rid of that. So we should be all set with our fuel system. We're gonna go ahead and reverse order that carburetor back on there and see what we get. Just wanted to show y'all because I was putting this back on. We can go ahead and try to prime this. I did hook the fuel lines back up. See if we can get it to prime. All right, seems like it's priming just fine, and also wanted to make sure y'all saw that the gasket there on the front, then we can put the air box back on and then go ahead and start putting the 8mm nuts back onto the studs. So I'm gonna get this buttoned up and then we're gonna try to give this thing a crank. All right, I had to go in last night after finishing up, and I did just come out here and give it a cold start with the choke. We'll try it again, but it did pop right off, so we're gonna find out today if we've got this thing fixed or not. That's on choke. Go ahead and let it warm up for a minute. It already feels a lot more responsive than it was. Have to make a small adjustment. Just had to add a little bit of fuel on the low side. All right, well, I think we've got that thing basically dialed in. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Hopefully this does help somebody out. Realistically, we only had a few bucks in parts. We just had the diaphragm and primer bulb, and then we had just a little bit of adjustment and checking over a few things. But overall, I feel like this trimmer is running great now and should have at least another few seasons in it before it's gonna need some more work. So as always, I really appreciate y'all tuning into the channel, and I hope to see you guys next time. And in the comment section, I love hearing from you guys. And on that note, let freedom ring, let the small engine sing. I'll see you all next time.